In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the multi-strand property maps that we can use to control not only where the multi-stranding is happening, but also we'll repurpose the map to control the root splay. So in our earlier rendered image, you can see here we did have some issues with the root splay and how that looks, as well as I like the gelled spiky look here, but I didn't want the gel spiky look on the sides of the head. Well, how can we work that out? Well, let's take a look at utilizing, let me open up my attribute editor here, utilizing these maps for the multi-strand and the root splay. So to make this a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is let's select this surface, and I'm going to assign a new Lambert material. And while I have this here, I'll just go into right-click, Paint, 3D Paint. So what I'll need to do is go down and assign the texture first. There we go. And while I have that texture assigned, I'm going to flood it with black. Okay. Essentially what I want to do is tell the whole system I don't want any multi-stranding or any root splay anywhere except along this faux hawk area and along the kind of the back. So let me just make a smaller brush. We'll set this to white. And looking here, let's go ahead and start to paint this area in. Oops. Undo that there. I just want this main area. We'll just go ahead and paint that in. Okay. And you can control how low you want to take this down the side of his head, but I'm just going to mainly focus on the back here. Okay, so something like this. Okay, let me just smooth this out. Now, if those hairs get in your way, you can actually select the hairs, and then this little shelf button right here will turn them on and off. Okay, so we haven't talked about that one yet, but that's just a quick and easy what it's useful for. Okay, so we can finish painting this surface here. Okay, we'll just kind of tighten that up, any little missed spots, and like I said, you can soften that however you want. And if you want to, you can come in and hit it with the blur brush and soften that edge. All right, so let's say we're good to go with this. Okay, and let me open up my outliner again, and we'll take our hair node and toggle those hairs back on. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to fix this multi-stranding issue right here. Okay, and we'll also optimize the hairs a little bit so it's a little faster to render. All right, in my hypergraph here, or hypershade, there is my file, okay, file 2, and let's just go ahead and plug that in to the hair node, so my attribute editor. For my multi-strand, let's plug that in right there, and for my root splay, let's plug that in right there. Okay, this will keep, it will not splay in the areas that are black, okay, because I want to go ahead and keep that setting of 0.5 just because it looks really good on the top of his head. And now we won't have any multi-stranding on the sides of the head as well. Okay, let's go ahead and put the default material back on this character. There it is, skin. Okay, and I'm going to make one more tweak, and that's at the top here. I'm going to set this down to like 5,000 hairs, actually. There we go, 5,000 hairs. And we'll go ahead and take our multi-strand back to 30. Okay, this will give us a better idea of what we've got when we get ready to render. So here's our rendered image. Okay, so as you can see, we now don't have any clumping or kind of that gel look on the sides of the hair, but we do have it at the top. And notice we fixed the problem with the root splay. Now obviously we don't have enough hair here, so what we're going to do is create a balance. So we can say, all right, let's create back to 20,000 hairs, but let's reduce down the multi-strand to maybe 20. So this balance of adding hairs, reducing multi-strand count, it's going to create a lot of volume, but it'll save you a lot of time when rendering this out. Of course, you can crank this up to whatever you want when it's time to render. So that's a quick and easy look at how to utilize property maps for things like multi-strand.